Welcome back for week number 11 in AP Research. This one's going to be pretty fast because we're just kind of continuing on with where we've been. So what should you be doing? Because it helps if we need a constant reminder. We need to keep working because it's very easy to stall. And once you stall, it's going to be very hard and very frustrating to get out. And I can tell you from personal experience, if you stall, this is going to suck. And I know because it sucked for me when I stalled. So again, we have a massive juggling act going on right now. Last week we dealt with starting to think about research methods, which is just like, I don't even know what my question is. So we have a lot of stuff going on. So again, you should be working on your annotated bibliography. And one of the questions that will show up, because a few of you have asked me, is how many sources do I need? Well, I would imagine you should have like 15 to 20. That's what I'm imagining. And if you're saying, oh, well, I don't have that many, well, maybe it's because you're looking at such a narrow focus that you're not putting what your topic is in context. So if I were just looking at AP biology research using Wisconsin fast plants, to be super nitpicky, well, maybe I will only be able to find 5 or 6 references to that. Well, why am I not talking about education in general, and then AP education, and then doing labs in science education, and broaden it out? Give me context as to why any of this matters. You're giving me such a narrow focus that, yeah, you might have some issues getting your topics or finding papers. So put your topic in perspective. Why should any of us care? And then suddenly you're going to have sources for you if you just back up just a little bit. You're too zoomed in. When you start worrying about your IRB application, so we're going to have, because obviously based upon whatever your research question you have, which you will derive from your annotated bibliography, we need to know how much do we really need to worry about what you're planning on doing. So are you going to be dealing with things that are going to be very, very sensitive, which is a full review? Some of you are asking to do full review things, and it's going to be a total pain in your butt. I'm just letting you know right now. Some of you are looking for things that are going to be what we call an expedited, so we just have to make sure you're being careful. And I don't think any of you are actually wanting to do an exempt study, which is basically you're doing education. Because if you do education, actually, no, there's 1 or 2 of you who want to do an exempt study, which is the easiest one because, hey, those data already exist. It's just a matter of compiling it and figuring it out. Or you're doing surveys and stuff like that. All of that is so that you can get this initial this inquiry form finished. There turn out to be 8 questions as part of this thing. The deal is we have till November 30th to get this done, and I actually want you to have this turned in, done, signed, sealed, delivered before Thanksgiving so that we don't need to worry about it. And that only leaves us a few weeks, so we kind of need to be on the ball. After that, we have the paper that we're starting to write. So in AP Seminar, you would take sources of information, then you'd start compiling it together into a paper where you have a position. That's what an introduction is, however that's referred to in your discipline. You're taking what everyone already has and you're starting to frame your argument as to why your research question is supposed to be asked and supposed to be answered. So you're taking what's already existing and starting to mold it into, here's my question, here's why it matters that we answer my question. And you go, oh, okie dokie. You need to have a broad context to tell us why any of this matters, and then use the research to guide us to agreeing with you that, yeah, indeed, this is something worth investigating. Because if you can't guide us to that point, you're going to lose us, or we're going to sit there and start saying, yeah, this smells funny, probably shouldn't happen. Research methods obviously are going to be a little bit fluid right now because you're not entirely sure and you haven't really been doing what you've been or what you think you're going to do. But make sure that you're answering your research question. Make sure it's providing you the data that you can get that will answer your research question. And here's also a big one because it goes back to IRB. Hopefully you're asking something that you can ethically do, you can get permission to do, and you have enough time to do it, because the papers are going to be due in March. And you say, oh, March, that's next year. If you start adding up the months, you don't have that much time.